I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Wow, that's an office. Back to back with the wifey and the treadmill.
Yeah, right?
This treadmill's like fucking 6 foot tall. Like if you're on it, yeah.
That's how my parents' basement was when I lived at home I was prepping in 2018. The ceilings were low, so I could only get it up to like a 6.5 incline before my head was hitting the ceiling the whole time.
You ever just feel like claustrophobic when like you're training somewhere and like the ceiling height's really low, and like I'm 5'7", 5'8" on a great day. So like I'm not a tall dude, but even still, it just feels like I'm like, oh shit, I feel like boxed in.
One of my good friends down here in Tampa, he owns a gym, and that's one of my qualms. It's like I don't like the environment because I can touch the fucking ceiling. But
I trained at a gym like that before, and like even though the space was huge, probably like, I don't know, 15, 20,000 square feet, just the ceiling height alone made it feel so small that I was like,
boxed. Yeah. I mean, if you come down to train in Florida anyway, all the equipment's right on top of each other. So you're going to feel boxed in no matter where you go.
I feel like that's kind of the trend these days. By the way, Connor, nice to meet you, bro.
I was going to say before, I don't know if we've actually met yet.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I've heard nothing but good stuff from Chris. So obviously friend of Chris, friend of mine, but no, I feel like that's the trend with a lot of gyms these days where it's like, all right, let's just pack as much dope equipment as we can. And even if there's like this much space in between machines, like whatever, they'll figure it out.
I think it's because gym owners realize people care about equipment.
Yeah.
And when they're like, okay, cool, well, I have the opportunity to either buy or collect or bring a new piece into the gym. Fuck it. If we don't have the square footage, it doesn't matter. Somebody's going to sign up for this new Rogers row. Somebody's going to sign up for this new Panada piece. And then you just stick it wherever they can.
Let's make memberships $90 a month.
That's cheap in Florida, my man.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like 90 is inexpensive because the gym I'm referencing it's a gym. It's about not even 2 minutes from the apartments I live at, which convenience wise, it's so nice driving there. Like I'll slug my pre before I even leave the house because I'm there like that. But they have so many good pieces, a lot of Atlantis, a lot of Prime, not so much Arsenal, but even still, like, it's like not even exaggerating this much space in between machines. And like, again, I'm not the biggest dude in the gym, but even myself, I'm like kind of like having to navigate and like sandwich between stuff to get to where I want to be.
I hit my left shin at 3 separate gyms last week to the point where on Friday I was lifting and I hit it again. And I walked over to my wife and I was like, hey, just letting you know, like, if I hit my shin one more time, you need to get me grippy socks, a straight jacket, and a mitt somewhere because I'm gonna lose my mind. It was the same spot every time.
Dude, hitting your shin fucking hurts. I don't care what anybody says. It's like when you stub your toe, like you can't just help but like lean over and just kind of like the Family Guy, like, you know?
Yeah.
So what's going on, fellas? How's everyone's day going?
Busy.
Yeah, not bad.
Sorry for the time delay. Chris and I were joking before you hopped on. I always mix up time zones. So it's like 2:30 right now in Arizona. I thought we were doing it at like 3:15 my time. So that would have been 5:15 Chris's time, but I guess 6:15 your time. And then when I looked up, I was like, oh shit. I was like, it's 3 hours time difference.
So I think I might have fucked that up. I thought Chris was on my time zone. So when I did the math backwards, when he told me how many hours apart we were, I was like, oh, okay, well, if Chris and I are in the same time zone, then this, and this works. I think I fucked up, but
no, you're good.
I probably didn't communicate that one that well then. Maybe all of us fucked up.
Well, or we can be like old men, and next time we do a calendar invite and we put all the emails up, and then it auto adjusts all of the time.
Funny. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that, Connor, you were in Tampa, and I know obviously Chris is in Missouri, so I'm thinking, I'm like, literally as I'm driving back from the gym, I just finished training legs, didn't even shower. I got my post-workout shake right here. And I literally Googled, what time is it in Florida? I'm like, oh shit. I was like, when I saw your message, I was like, I got to get home. And the funny part is I was about to pull into the gas station to grab an energy drink. I pulled into the gas station, and that was when I messaged you. I was like, pulled right back out, didn't even grab. energy drink.
Dude, if you needed me to wait, I would have waited for
No,
this.
no, it's good. I know Justin's running behind anyways. He's got some chiropractic clients right now, so he might hop on. I sent him the link, so we'll see if he ends up joining. But yeah, how's everyone's day is good?
Yeah, everyone's
I got my
good.
What do
cream
you
of rice cake, dude.
is that your baked cream of rice?
My loaf, dude. This is a game changer.
You gotta tell me about this.
I've
He's
been telling
been
everyone. They're
baking his
like,
cream of rice. Would you bake it or air fry it?
no, I gotta bake it. You put an egg and some baking powder in it, and then whatever you need. So like, I need more carbs. So like today I put chocolate chips, which that might not be that bodybuilder, but you can put like strawberries in it. Hey, dude.
Yeah, it looked like you made one the other day. It was like a strawberry banana.
Yeah, she's gonna air me out right now, but you can put like strawberries or blueberries or like anything, and it's like legit. It's not like cream of rice where it's all like gritty. Yeah, it's like legit just a cake, dude. It's the shit. It's a loaf. Yeah.
I was doing that rice checks in prep.
Oh,
Take the rice checks, blend them, so then it becomes like a rice powder.
Yeah.
And then I made waffles with that. I shit you not. If I measured out like the liquids and the baking powder and the salt a little bit better, it comes out like a hotel buffet Belgian waffle. And
That sounds fire.
those are slept on, dude.
Like it. And I was shocked when I did it the first time. I looked at my wife. I was like, "Is this normal? Like, is it supposed to bake like this?" She was, "I don't know. I've never done it before." And then I did it a few times after, and it was legit.
Win.
It's so funny how like I'm not gonna lie, I feel like bodybuilders low key are some of the best cooks because you could take any ingredients like Connor just said, he'll take like rice Chex Mix and blend it up into a powder and then make it into like a pancake or a waffle. Chris is over here baking his cream of rice into
Making
like
cakes.
a loaf of sweet bread. But like, yeah, it's funny how I don't know if you guys ever seen that show like on I think it's called Food Network. It's called Chopped. And like they'll give you like the most random ingredients. I feel like that's me as a bodybuilder. I'm like, all right, I got cream of rice, I got eggs, I got a banana, and some chocolate chips. Let's just make a pancake. Like, and you do it.
Or just like egg whites and protein. Like, you know what? This is gonna be a pancake.
Okay, but let's be real though. Are bodybuilders the problem because everything we see then becomes a pancake?
Yeah, everything's just pancake.
I just see 4 ingredients. I'm like pancake.
Pancake,
Yeah,
perfect.
how do I blend this and then put it in a pan and make it fluffy? Like,
Is there something so wrong with that though?
No, it's an efficient, fun way, to get food. So they're the problem. We're good. We're not the
that's the
problem.
conversation I have with clients all the time, dude. Like, hey, why have you not been on program? Well, I hate my food. Why? Well, I hate bland sweet potato. What do you mean? Oh, I put it in the microwave and then I eat it. You don't put anything on it. You don't do anything.
Cinnamon.
I could make that sweet potato 700 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sweet potato is probably not the only thing in your program. You probably have a few other ingredients around that you can make it taste better with and do it a dozen different ways every single month. And it stays interesting the entire time.
100%. Like you just get so creative with what limited ingredients you have or what like is part of your program that you're like, okay, I'm going to find a way to make this taste good. And then obviously like, if you're like me, sounds like Chris is over here with his cream of rice loaves, but like you perfect the recipe over time where you're like, okay, this is exactly how I make it. And it's just 10 out of 10 every time.
That's like the hardest part with a client, like, especially newer clients, is like you can only do, I think they think, you as a coach or you as like a bodybuilding coach, whatever the case is, that you have to make this meal plan to a T of like, hey, look, here's every single meal. It's going to be amazing. Here's all the ingredients, X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, it's like, look, this is your blueprint. You know what I mean? Like your rough draft. Do with it as you will. And your job is just teach them like this is how we make it healthy. Like it's hard to relay that message.
I think it's difficult too for individuals who come across to us as clients and they're like, I want a result. We give them the blueprint for the result, but then they take it too verbatim. They don't think creatively for themselves. And
you got to read between the lines.
I'll air out one of my clients' shit from last year. UFC guy, like actual UFC guy. Yeah. And he was fighting down here in Tampa. He was fighting against Cub Swanson. and it was a big fight. And he was like, it's one of my last fights I'm going to do. I have to focus on my family after this, but I want to fucking win. I've never won a fight against a guy who has a name like him. I was like, all right, sweet. What have you ever done with nutrition for yourself? Nothing. Okay, cool. We're going to work nutrition so that your weight cut is smoother, so that you're not dropping 12 pounds in 72 hours. And then we're going to make sure performance is perfect the entire camp and then on competition day. A week later, hey man, this ain't for me. I thought you were gonna be a private chef for me and make meals and make my foods taste good.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, my job here is to make sure you perform well and don't get your ass kicked when fight day shows up. Guess who got choked out in the first fucking round? So it's like you can only do so much with people who are not willing to take the extra thought process and put in that effort for themselves. They want their hand held or they want it done for them. And it's like, well, we're doing so much for you. We're just asking you to cook a little taste.
That's it. Yeah. Just cook.
Well, I think it also depends whether it's like a high level athlete or just like a lifestyle client. Very big difference there. But someone like that, like I'll give credit to anyone who's doing combat sports to any degree because, you know, they've got their training in the gym. They still got to get their rest and recovery. Obviously, nutrition is a huge part of it. But at the end of the day, like you're taking damage. You know what I mean? Like the only damage I'm taking, I just train glutes and hams. Yeah, I'm a little sore, but I'll use some compression sleeves tomorrow. And by Thursday, I'll be ready to train quads, you know? So it's not the biggest deal for us. I feel like we're able to recover a little faster, but like I do give credit to those guys who are fighting because it's like, dude, you're getting punched in the face. There's no way around that.
Oh, it's wild. I just had two of my guys finish out 2 camps. One of them fought over in Vegas this past weekend, and then the other one is fighting in 80 cc's at the end of the month. And both of them, every freaking week, my knee, my elbow, my ankle, my knee, my elbow, my ankle. I'm like, can we have 1 week where you're not fucking injured and we're not having to pull audibles because I need you to perform well and I need you to be fed well. But if we're resting for 3 random days because you tweaked your knee for the 6th time this month, but they keep going. They don't stop.
They're warriors for sure.
They don't, doesn't matter.
I've got one lifestyle guy I'm working with right now, and like he really has locked in on the diet. Like when I say he understands it, like he's even gone as far. He's like, hey, if I want, like he'll ask me, of course, but he'll be like, hey, if I don't want to do jasmine rice, maybe I want to do sweet potato. What's the conversion for the exact gram amount I should be having? You know, so he's conscious of his intake with his carbs, and I love to see that because now he's like kind of like Chris said, reading between the lines, giving himself a little more flexibility and a little variety and still staying on track, losing weight, hitting his goals. And so like someone like that, he's not an athlete. He's just trying to, you know, dial in for the rest of the summer. He's got a birthday in about 4 weeks. So he just wants to be a little leaner and meaner for his birthday, which, hey, nothing wrong with that. So it's just, it's motivating when you see someone who isn't even like a high level athlete and they're like, okay, like there's a different way to get there, but get the same result, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Here,
that's the only like fun thing.
I just sent you something in the chat that'll make your life easier with that guy.
Oh, hell yeah.
So this is a Team Atlas gift to the fitness community. His quote, not mine. But it is built out with hundreds of food swaps, and it has shit in there you wouldn't even think. If you wanted to swap out like Alexia sweet potato fries for kangaroo meat, you can.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
It's crazy. And in the group chat with the team, which my wife is a part of, I think it's like once a month, maybe every other month, we'll like send out a mass message, be like, hey, what foods do you guys want added in here? And then he has somebody go on the back end and add the foods in properly and with the right portions and the right conversions and everything. I give that to my more advanced clients where I'm like, hey, I can trust you're going to use this responsibly and correctly. Other individuals, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to program apples and you're going to try and switch it for carrot cake. We're not doing this.
Yeah, it's and also kind of like you just said, with certain clients, you know, who can stay within the confines of the program and others are just going to go totally off the rails. So it's almost like, maybe we shouldn't send you that swap out.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you found out you can eat 700 grams of blueberries instead of your protein. We're not gonna.
Yeah, no, but again, I think, and I guess this kind of can segue into Chris. I know you've been using the Rev 2 Tried a bit, but like food noise in general. And a lot of people have been saying that like with the use of Retta, like it eliminates all that food noise because you're just not as hungry between meals. But I haven't taken
not on it.
Oh,
To
you're not.
be
Oh, I
my
thought you were
clients,
taking it.
I've used it like as a experiment on myself to
Okay.
trust to give it to clients,
Yeah.
but like I'm not. I'm trying to get my hunger back, but
Oh, okay.
it's definitely it's a tool. It's a really good tool. My clients, I do give it to my clients, but like I had to use it on myself first. I'm like, let me just see, you know what I mean? But yeah, some of my prep guy's on it, and he's just like a week out. He's like, yeah, I'm just not hungry. I'm like, okay, well, as long as we get that back, we're good, you
Yeah.
know.
Connor, what were you gonna say?
Oh, it was a godsend for my
Yeah.
prep. I thought
Yeah.
it was fantastic. Now, I only worked up to 1.5 milligrams a week. So very low dose on that, 200
Right.
200 micrograms a day. Um, was I hungry? Yes. Mentally, did I really give a fuck? No.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it just
for
eliminates the food noise, right? Or was it that you found yourself less
it's not so
hungry?
much the food noise. Like I still watched all of my baking and cooking shows on YouTube, all of prep. So like that was still something I did because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But like for example, my post show in Texas, all I had was a burger and one scoop of ice cream. Like
Yeah.
that was it. Like I didn't even want anything past the scoop of ice cream.
Yeah.
Um, and then even in my rebound, I've my my reverse, I've actually been hungrier during the past 4 weeks than I was during prep. Um, and I would say it best suits limiting the binging because you'll end up hitting a wall digestively before
Hmm.
your brain shuts off. So what was it? After Tampa, I went a little bit heavier on my food. I had a pretty big dinner. Um, and then I had a piece of carrot cake and 2 cookies. I couldn't even make it through the carrot cake because my stomach just like was like a fucking wall, and I could tell digestion had slowed. I woke up at 3 a.m. I was still full. I could still feel the digestion was a super slow rate of change. And then the next morning I woke up and I was like, yeah, I can wait to eat breakfast. So I think that is more of like I don't want to say red flag, but like the one thing that's going to hit you in the face when you notice it.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, I only did like a microdose. I know guys who are running anywhere from 3 to 5 milligrams a week in prep, where I know one specifically said at 3.5 milligrams, he was like, I'm still fucking hungry. So individual response is going
Sure.
to play there, but I think it's fantastic.
I think my guy's on like 1 milligram right now a week still. He's fine. But I used it for like my experiment was when I got out of the hospital, I was like, okay, well, can't really reverse here. You know, I didn't have like a real time to like bring anything up. So coming out of that shock of like just being starving, I was like, well, this is like perfect time to use this, if anything. But same deal, like, dude, I would eat like I think the day we got back, like I went to Quick Trip and I got some shit, you know what I mean? But like next morning, didn't eat breakfast and stuff. Like I ate that meal probably at like 3 o'clock, and I wasn't hungry the rest of the night. Like just didn't eat, and it definitely it halts everything down. But in reverse, I see it being more beneficial almost. You know what I mean? Really trying to stall that fat gain or just like mass in general over time.
Just it keeps self-control in check,
Definitely.
which in any post-show phase for anybody, that's the biggest hurdle. It's that
Yeah.
self-control factor.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I just had a guy compete. It would have been going on 3 weeks this Saturday. And again, I wrote his reverse diet. Everything was in line, and I'm seeing his check-ins and the weight was just through the roof. So I knew he was eating like shit. And I get it. I mean, you diet hard for 3, 4 months. Like, yeah, you want to kind of binge a little bit. But again, that's not the best thing to do in a reverse. And so now that he's finally, when I say locked into his reverse diet, he's looking much better. He said he's feeling much better. I was like, well, yeah, it's because now we can be honest, you stopped eating the bullshit. And so even that alone, like I think post show, people don't realize how sensitive their body is, not just to training, not just to rest and recovery, but the food, especially that it's like, dude, when I see somebody's body weight just spike like crazy, I'm like, the fuck did you eat? Like, what have you been eating? Because I know it's not on plan. Because obviously, we're not going to just jump your calories substantially post show. So, yeah, it was one of those things where like a lot of red flags, but I'm glad to see he's kind of locked back in because I was like, bro, like, how do you feel? You can't feel good.
How's your edema, dude?
Dude, for real.
Dude, even while on it, if I go a little bit overboard, I can feel it, and it's
Yeah.
not gonna feel good.
I mean, like usually for me, post show, maybe 5 pounds in 2 weeks. Like, I mean, and it's not like I'm someone who I like food, but also at a certain point, like listening to my body, being responsible, following a plan. I mean, those are all things that I know are so important that it's like, and again, like I always joke about it too, leading up to a show, like Connor, I don't know what you typically carb up with, but usually for me, like the night before a show, I'll have my coach will give me a burger and fries. So okay, I hadn't had that in say 4 months, so I get that out of my system. Then maybe backstage, I have some sweet treats, whatever. So by the time I'm done with a show, I always joke like a fresh like Gatorade, maybe some fruit, like that sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
And then this last year when I competed, like my family went out to dinner and I didn't even eat anything because I wasn't even hungry. Like I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like I'll eat when I feel hungry, like I feel the desire to. Ended up waking up and my niece wanted to go grab like pancakes. I was like, you know what? I was like, pancakes sound good. So like different story, but yeah, it's just going out of control with the food after a show. Like people don't realize how dangerous that is.
Yeah. I've done it. It fucking sucks.
Oh wait, here's one fun one. What's the most weight you've ever put on post show? Like in that first week, first 3 days, first week.
To be honest, it's usually between like 5 and 10 pounds max. Like, and not much. Like to be honest,
Oh
like
no, I commend that. You
yeah,
don't.
Yeah. I'm about to say a number that's going to be fucked up.
yeah. What, Chris? What's yours?
This is okay. I think it also like there's a dye in place for this as well, right? So we got to think of like some water reverse. But so like
Yeah.
say so what we competed Saturday. I think when I got home like Tuesday, I was up like 20, like 22, 23 pounds, something like that.
You
Like
feel it. You
yeah,
feel
Saturday,
good at that weight.
Saturday to Monday, I did 27 pounds.
yeah, dude. It's and the thing like even when I got back from the hospital, like I got admitted at like 184, I think, peeled out of my mind, 184. And then when we got home 5 days later, I was like 215. Like it fucking hurts, dude. A lot.
Yeah,
Not fun. I don't like it.
it's not fun whatsoever. And
Yeah.
the craziest shit too is like even 20 plus pounds up, if I didn't know better or if I was more irresponsible, um, I would have kept going. I would have
Oh
kept
yeah,
going.
me too.
I
Yeah.
was so hungry. My brain was like, you can go eat that cookie. But luckily at that point in time, I was what, like 23 years old and I was a little psychotic. So I was like, all right, cool. Back to 0 grams of carbs and the sauna for 2 hours a day to get this shit off.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a different question. In some of your bulks, what is the heaviest weight you've ever gotten to, Connor?
I have gotten up to 260 4 separate times.
Yeah.
And I come crashing back down to 240 every fucking time. The first 2 times I got sick. The second 2 times I ended up with GI issues and just could not manage it. So this time the goal is to finish my off season at 265 correctly and hold it, maintain it, and actually get on stage the right size. Because if I get off stage again and fucking Bill walks up to me and says, "You look great, you're just small,"
I got that same feedback from him, so I know how that feels.
lose my fucking mind. And then my coach goes, on our first call, we're talking about strategy. He goes, "Yeah, your legs fucking suck." I'm like, "Great,
Noted.
awesome."
Great.
Who are you working with right now?
So I was working with Johnny Castellina for my pro debut in the
Yep.
Texas show. Him and I go way back. He's like an older brother to me. Have not a single negative thing to say about him or my prep whatsoever. But Mike Nassif, he's down here in Tampa.
Yep, very familiar with him.
I know him personally. Him and I have talked extensively in the past. He's helped me out with some client stuff in the past as well. And I actually wanted to try my hand at working with a coach who's on home turf. Because a lot of my own personal issue ends up here. So my thought process is, well, if my coach is here on home turf, I'll see him a couple times a month. He'll be able to dig into my brain better than a coach in a regular check-in form.
Sure.
And the first thing I said to him when we got on a call was like, "Hey, dude, like I'm picking you because I want to be coached. I don't just want this to be me paying you and just a program and yeah, I can execute. I'm a pro bodybuilder, whatever. I want to be fucking coached because I know I can I know I can go further than where I am. And I'm like, your mentality, your expectations, how you coach is exactly where I want to be and move forward with. So I want to be coached. And it's been a solid first 4 weeks or 3.5 weeks so far.
So I've got a buddy of mine. He just started working with Mike. I want to say maybe 8 weeks ago. And same thing. We were talking over text earlier yesterday, and same thing. He had nothing but great things to say about Mike. I can't remember. He was between Mike or someone else, but almost the same thing. He's down in that Tampa area as well. So he was like,
Is it Nate?
no, his name's Skylar Reeves.
Oh, I know that name. Oh,
Yeah,
wait, was he?
you'd recognize his Instagram probably if you saw him. I'll send it to you. But yeah, he's got a great physique, amateur guy, super cool dude. And long story short, yeah, he kind
Yes,
of
I know who this guy is.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. He reiterated kind of exactly what you just said with Mike's protocols and how his coaching style is. So shout out to him because obviously what he's doing is working not just at the amateur level, but also at the pro level.
Yeah. And it's not reinventing the wheel either. It's honestly,
Simple works.
I think
Well,
it-
at a certain point, like I don't know. I mean, obviously you're in Tampa, so I would say the bodybuilding culture is a lot more serious down there than maybe some of the gyms I train at over here. No? Well, I was going to ask about that, but
it has a facade. We'll get into that. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, like, I mean, I'll look around the gym and I see maybe some younger guys in their late teens, early 20s who, when I say they have no idea how to train, and that's fine, like they'll figure it out, hopefully, eventually, or maybe they'll hire a coach. But it's like at a certain point, when you've been doing this for so long, you know how to train, you know how to diet, but also with respect to a good or a great coach, like they can take you to a level you've never been at before, whether it's just the nuances of the protocol, the nuance. I don't know. It's just different. Like again, obviously, like with the analogy to basketball, like Kobe Bryant was a great player, but obviously Phil Jackson was able to bring out the
Yes.
goat in him. You know what I mean? So it's like a really good coach can bring out something special in an athlete, even if you know how to diet and you know how to train correctly.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's
But
exactly my head was at with reaching out to Mike.
yeah.
And then all respect to Johnny as well. He's checked out of coaching, man. He does so much on his business side of things. He business mentors me for my coaching business.
Mhm.
And like when I get on calls with him about coaching and I get on calls with him about my business, you can just tell which one he's most excited for.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, well, I love you, Johnny. You have a couple of Olympia titles under your belt. You know what you're doing, of course. But like, I also want a coach who's fucking going to be ecstatic about the current state of bodybuilding, wants to show up at shows, wants to be a part of that at the same time as well, you know?
Well, I think, and no knock on like anyone's age here, but like obviously Mike's a bit younger, so a bit newer to the game. He's been in it for a handful of years. And so, like, when I say like you have, and I see it even with like, I'll use the example of like gym owners where it's like you've got a guy who, he's in his late 50s, he's got a gym, he just collects his membership dues and whatever, he's checked out. Then you've got another guy who maybe just opened a gym here who is like, hey, we need this equipment. We need to improve this. We need to fix that. Like, so it's just there's very different subtleties that, again, make a huge difference in the overall feel of a space, a program, and just coaching altogether.
Yep. Completely
Definitely.
as well.
Yeah. So actually, I was going to ask you. So I know you're down in Tampa, but yeah, touch on that bodybuilding culture a bit because before you just get into this, I've got a handful of friends who have moved down there, are moving down there, and they're trying to get me to move down there. And I'm thinking about it, to be honest. But let's hear what you got to say because you're in it.
So here's my thing. When I got back, every time I get back from Dallas, and I've been there 4 times in the past 2 years, I come back and then my wife is like, Connor, why the fuck won't you shut up about bodybuilding? I haven't heard you talk about this. I haven't heard you talk like this in years.
Yeah.
And we've entertained almost moving to Dallas on 4 separate occasions. Now, granted, I just don't particularly like Dallas. I love it here. That's why we're staying. But bodybuilding community wise, it is
100%.
night and day.
Everyone says Texas as a whole right now is, for lack of better words, become like the mecca of bodybuilding. I mean, and you have so many good pockets, whether it's Houston, Dallas, Austin. And so like I get that, but it's funny because I continuously hear I lived out in Vegas during 2020, which was COVID time, so it was a little weird. But I really like the bodybuilding culture out there just because there's so many good gyms. A lot of pros are out there, but even still, like I would say the 2 places everyone's talking about would be Tampa or Texas.
Tampa right now, I think, is in a great spot for big change around bodybuilding. And personally, I'm actually trying to be the catalyst for that. I'm flying out to Dallas next month. I'm trying to get in with Gasp, but I want to bring Gasp and what destination Dallas has here to Tampa. Tampa started its resurgence in bodybuilding, I'd say in 2022, 2023, when I moved down here. I moved down here December of 2022. Now, plus or minus 6 months around that time frame was when a ton of people were moving down here. And then everyone was at MI40. It was a bunch of new people, new faces, and a bunch of different demographics from all over the country. Turns into cliques, turns into drama, turns into unnecessary competitiveness. So the way I describe it is like you'll get amazing bodybuilders, amazing athletes, or just amazing fucking individuals who move down here for the purpose of like, oh, I want to go to that bodybuilding gym or be a part of that bodybuilding community.
Yeah.
But then you get down here, it's like, wait, why does it feel so isolated? And
I've heard that.
because you get like these weird pockets and cliques and drama. So now that's changing. A lot of MI40, that group of people who was all, I'll be honest, they were doing a bunch of other drugs and fucking each other. So there was a lot of drama around that.
That part.
There was some other bodybuilders who are on the up in their career, who didn't conduct themselves as upstanding individuals, but were great bodybuilders.
Sure.
So I just had a lot of that mishmash going around that just didn't.
The cultures don't blend.
It didn't blend well.
Yeah.
But then if you go out to Dallas, you go to Destination, you go to Absolute Recomp, everyone's just there because they fucking love to lift. They love the same thing. They're just happy to be there, and everyone's a freaking friend. You didn't get that vibe down here. Now, my biggest vision for the rest of 2025 moving into 2026 is I want to change that drastically. I want to bring more bodybuilding community events down here and try and make an actual community down here that people are like, oh, that's attractive to go to. I can walk in this gym and I know I'm gonna be greeted friendly,
Yeah.
greeted friendly. No, I'm gonna be, I can walk up to Connor Kovacs and 3 other pros in the gym and say hi without it being a weird thing, or there's not drama. There's not a boyfriend and girlfriend fighting in the corner because he's on.
Yeah, that's too much.
So like, I personally want to generate that down here, and we're slowly putting together more and more individuals with the same mindset. So I think it's a fantastic area to move to. I think it has a little bit of growth and development that needs to happen in terms of like the bodybuilding community around here. But if guys like you both wanted to move down here, and then I got Ben, I have a few other folks in the same category, and we could all come together and do something that builds something like that would make my life ecstatic. Because that's what I fucking want. I miss walking into the gym and being like, cool, everyone's a friend. Let's all dap up, have a good time, and fucking lift. Fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like you were talking about the culture. And so for me, the gym I train at right now, I would say the demographic's a little bit older. There's me and maybe a handful of guys who are like bodybuilders that are there, and we compete. And you know, I get it. Like, obviously when you're a bodybuilder, you look different, you train different. And so a lot of people are going to stare at you, but it almost becomes a little bit uncomfortable where you don't feel like, hey, like I can just do what I need to do to grow and improve without like people placing judgment on you. And so like even today I was doing a standing leg curl, and every time I came off the machine, there's some older gentleman just like eyeballing me on while he's on the treadmill. And it was so uncomfortable. And like, you kind of like, you know, we're not unapproachable. Maybe I got like a resting bro face because I'm like training hard, but I'm just like, hey, what's up? How are you? You know, but it's just very weird. And so kind of doubling back to the gym I was talking about that I've been training at too, it's 2 minutes from here. The culture there is phenomenal. And it just seems like such night and day where like, I think I'm going to switch gyms full time just because while I'm out here, if I stay out here, I want to be surrounded by other people who are training hard, and like, it's no judgment. It's just like, hey, looking good, bro. Keep pushing. Like, let me know if you need a spot. Not just like, what is he doing? Like, it's very weird to experience. And this is probably the first time in a while I've dealt with that. But for me, the draw to Tampa right now is one of the guys who actually, the guy who got me into bodybuilding in 2018. He's lived out here. He's in California right now. Him and his girl are in the process of relocating to Tampa. He works with Matt Grego, and he was just out here last week, and we trained every day together. And it just really reminded me of like what having a good training partner can do, and how fun it is to show up at the gym every day with someone who's going to push you. And I'm like, damn, like I miss that.
Yeah. I think also two things: move to St. Pete,
That's where he's going. Yep.
going to Tampa, and then Champs Gym is going to be part of what rebuilds the community around here, just because it's going to be a draw for the types of people who want to train hard, train well, and there's not that judgment factor. MI40 just ain't it. They changed their business model 5 months ago, and then now it's just a public gym. So granted, it's a public gym with a $220 a month price tag.
Yeah, it's expensive. Well,
worth
when
it.
Chris said 90 a month, I was like, damn, 90's cheap.
Dude, look, you gotta think this is Midwest, like St. Louis. We're paying
Yeah.
like $50
Yeah.
for like the high end. You know what I mean?
Listen, if I were only paying for like, I mean, the gyms out here, the good ones, there's a few at that price point, but you're also going to deal with like a younger demographic because it's located on ASU's campus. And I do love that gym. It's a gym I used to train at during my prep in 2023. But like the gyms out here, the gyms we're talking about, 200, 250, 399. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, are you near that one? What's that? The Hive?
yeah, that's where I've been training. Yeah.
Oh really? Shit.
Yeah,
is it nice enough to like actually pay that much money for?
Okay, so here's what I will say is there's nothing against like anyone who works there, anyone who trains there, but it's just an older demographic. And a lot of times, like Justin and Chris and I have talked about this, I think a lot of people go to a gym like that to be seen, not necessarily to train, and that's fine. But also, I think a lot of people are going to that gym for the aesthetic and for content. So, like, while I'm trying to create a physique, they're just trying to create content. So it's a bit distracting when like I might bring a camera with me every day, but I only pull it out when I go into the posing room by myself, take my photos, upload in my Dropbox, send my coach, and that's it. You know what I mean? But like I'll have girls who will be running in circles around me, capturing every single angle of every single thing they do, whether it's a stretch, a bicep, whatever, just a foam roller even. And I'm like, guys, like, are you here to train? Are you here to train? You know? And that's such a distraction to me that like, that's why I really just want to be like surrounded by people who genuinely like, we're here to work. That's it.
I think there's a big
and enjoy the work.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with bodybuilding, like if you wanted a gym for bodybuilders, like statistically, like we are broke. You know what I mean? Unless you have a pretty good coach. Like just be
You're not
honest,
wrong.
like,
There
this
are a lot
sport-
of broke bodybuilders, but there's also a lot of wealthy ones these days. Like,
Yeah, true. Like, and you know, and I'm not saying I'm broke by any means, but like we make good money for ourselves, but at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm going somewhere to train, and I think my cutoff is like it has to be a damn good gym for $80 because that's like anything more than that, which maybe also mid Missouri is just like, or not mid Missouri anymore, St. Louis. You know, we just don't have a lot, and it's kind of cheaper here anyways. But like, if some gym shows up in town, it's like $80 immediately. I'm just like, I'm just not even going to entertain it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what is this? Is it the cost versus the what am I thinking of? The reward.
well,
Of
it's
it.
almost like I've heard the analogy before of people being like, I could get a $20 steak, I could get a $120 steak, but my shit's gonna look the same. So I get what you
True.
mean. Like, it's you know. What I will say about Hive, Connor, because you asked, is they have like everything under one roof. So like originally, what drew me to that was one of my original training partners was the lead independent trainer there. So he brought me in. I got a private tour, and I was like, "Whoa, this place is really dope." So I mean, from a recovery aspect, like everything you can imagine under one roof, but also relative to, I really only use a couple things there. Like I'll use the compression sleeves. Maybe I use the sauna. It's not like I'm doing a DEXA scan every day. It's not like I'm getting my blood work.
It has all the bougie bells and whistles.
Yeah, it's got everything you can imagine, which is dope. Don't get me wrong, but also when you come to realize, like, it's like I don't know the example of if you bought like a 6,000 square foot house, maybe you only use 2,000 square feet of it, so the rest of the house is just a waste. And it's kind of like the same thing where like I really only use X amount of shit. So I'm like, do I really even need to be there anymore in an environment where I don't necessarily feel like it's beneficial for my bodybuilding career moving forward? But also, like, what I will say about Arizona, like, it almost feels, and this is what I was explaining to my guy Ryan, who's moving down to St. Pete, is when I say it's like a little stale, at least for me, I've been here 10 years. I've been bodybuilding going on 8 years out here. And it would almost be nice to have a change. Like, perfect example, today, I just got like client check-ins to do after we wrap up this podcast, and then, you know, get my meals in, and then I'll go get my steps in. But like the area I live in is very like residential. So like, instead of me going to get my steps in on a beach, I'm literally walking past apartment complexes. Like,
Oh, but let me be honest though. Tampa and St. Pete, it's not as beach as people.
okay,
I'm in St. Pete. We just moved here 2 weeks ago, and I'm still a 25-minute drive from the beach. Now I'm a 10-minute drive from downtown St. Pete, which puts me on the water, which gives me a really nice walking area. My apartment, like I'm on the 17th floor right now. All I can see is the entire bay. So like I have a beautiful view, but if I wanted to do steps on a beach every day, it's a 30-45 minute drive.
that's fair. Yeah, it
But
just,
out of the way.
no, I appreciate that insight, because it's like, I the place I'm living at now, I just signed the lease and I could break it at any time without penalty, which is kind of dope.
No,
Uh,
it's not.
but at the same time, like, I'm like, all right, you know what? Before I signed it, I was like, maybe I'll give Arizona another year. I mean, obviously, sometimes I think about going to St. Louis so I can be around Chris and all the other homies out there, but I'm like, I don't know if I could do cold weather. That's the biggest concern for me, is I just don't want to live in anywhere cold.
That's
Uh,
fine.
Even St. Louis, man, like it's not even you got some bodybuilders here, but like in all reality, there's like 10, maybe. No, like
and I
honestly,
know
like
all of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's obviously Justin and Liz. There's a couple like other pros, but like everyone else is like kind of just doing it for like a bucket list. If they're a bodybuilder, they're just like a bucket list person. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get on the stage one day. No one here is like it doesn't seem like anyone's actively there's a handful. I'm not disregarding everybody, but like only a handful like truly live and breathe this. You know what I mean? Like it's
Like,
Well, you notice when you surround yourself, like you notice when you walk into rooms with individuals who take it to another level.
yeah,
When it's like I know for the past 4 years I was a bodybuilder, but I was not a competitive bodybuilder that was going fucking anywhere. I lived
right.
as a bodybuilder. I have the IFBB pro title. Sure, I made progress over the past 4 years, but over the past 4 years, can I say the progress that was made was uh, comparable to what a professional bodybuilder who takes this shit seriously can make? No shot. So, like, yeah, I can walk into a room with 10 individuals like myself and be like, cool, you guys are probably decent individuals to hang out with, get a good lift in, get some good food in. But then I can walk into a different room and look at 5 people and be like, oh yeah, you're doing that extra 30% that
yeah,
other people won't even fathom.
it's
Um, Quick thing. Is Justin hopping on?
I'm not sure what time he was rapping with his client. I'll text him right now. Let me see where he's at.
I was gonna say, I was gonna run downstairs because two things. One, I'm freezing and I need to eat. So I was gonna hop off here really quick, run downstairs to my apartment and hop back on. Is that cool, you
No,
guys?
you're good.
All right, sweet. And
Yeah,
hopefully
let me text Justin real quick.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, you're good.
So
So,
but yeah, no, there's like even like when Justin and I trained, or like actually the three of us, Justin, Liz, and I, the three of us trained together like last week. When we train, we still get looks at House of Pain. You know what I mean? It's not like everyone's still a bodybuilder X, Y, and Z. It's like there's some guys that like to work out and like, yeah, they're kind of big, but like no one here is like we just talked about because we want to go on more dates like they do with those two, and then like obviously Katie and I go on dates a lot, and we're like something other than just drinking. Everyone here like they're
yeah.
bodybuilders, but then you see them on the weekend, they're like doing Molly and drinking.
That so that's definitely one thing I feel like a lot of people get wrapped up in around this area, is like going out to eat, going out to drink. And again, there's nothing wrong with those things.
No,
I say, like, if that's what you live for, then, like, I don't know, it just seems kind of empty to me. And I've done that. I did that
yeah, so
for
have we.
many years.
Yeah,
But when I say, like, I'm getting to the point where I recognize that this bodybuilding journey isn't forever, and I really want to like enjoy it and embrace it to its fullest extent. And when I say nothing changes, if nothing changes, well, okay, yeah, like I could keep doing exactly what I'm doing, where I'm doing, and how I'm doing it. but I know that there's levels to this shit. And I think
Yep.
that recently, as I feel like, again, wanting to take my career to the next level, earn my pro card, I'm probably a year out from my next show. I got to requalify, then do another national level show. But it's like, what better time than now to submerge myself into a place where that really forces me to thrive, where I'm really truly motivated. And like, I use the example of when I lived in Vegas. Like, here I am one day hitting bicep curls, and I look over and Jay Cutler's next to me. And it's like, what's more motivating than that? You know what I mean? So, like, sometimes I think about moving back to Vegas. Oh, Justin just texted me. He said, hold on. He said, won't be for a while. Appointment at 5:40, and then I'll be running home.
But yeah, he's still got a minute. It's 5:15 here. We're actually gonna be down there with Connor in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Wait, what date are you going out there?
September. Hey babe, are we going September 22nd to Florida?
Shut up.
What? 18th. Oh, 18th.
All right, wait. How long are you guys there?
Till that Monday, I think.
Wait, so my guy Ryan texts me. He says, come to Tampa September 18th through September 23rd.
Ah, we'll be there.
Shut up, bro. I
We're
might
gonna.
take that. The only hard part is I think my mom is coming out to Arizona on the 27th. So yeah, maybe I can make it happen. I got to look at flights to be honest, but
Yeah.
it's also funny too because you know how like sometimes life just points you in different directions. So I ran into Drew Brandon with Fit Body Fusion the other day when I was training at the gym, and I was with my guy who's moving to Tampa, and he was like, we were just all talking, and he's like, dude, he's like, and I was saying how I might be moving down there. He goes, dude, he goes, I have the house down there. You got a place to stay. If you need
Damn.
a job, you can go work at my gym. It's 5 minutes from the house. And I was like, is the universe just pointing me to Tampa right now? Like,
Could be. I
so
mean, the way I see it, man, is, and this is me being a gypsy for like all my adult life until like this year, pretty much. Is like if you have nothing holding you back, you know what I mean, then just do it. Like
yeah, it's like I have friends and family here, but that's not going to disappear. The hardest
exactly.
part is obviously like moving state to state, and like when I say my dog, but obviously like I would just have someone take care of my dog for the couple weeks while I get settled in somewhere else, and then obviously like make sure
Yeah.
everything's set up for her. But yeah, other than that, it's like I'm not leaving behind a wife and kids. So
Yeah.
at the
I mean,
same
dude, I
time, it's just
traveled
like
to. I would be in a different state every 2 months. You know what I mean? For almost 6 years straight. You know, I jump around. I go overseas to a different country to go over there to work, or like if you have nothing holding you back, like now I wouldn't because I have Katie, but like the world is so big and you don't know where you truly like. If I would never think I would have lived in St. Louis, you know what I mean? Until like if you asked me even 3 years ago, hey, would you live in St. Louis? I'm like, hell no, you know. And now I'm like, I couldn't see myself living anywhere else. It's one of those things.
you see you and Katie staying in St. Louis forever? Because I know obviously she's got family out there.
I don't know. Like, there's no telling what would happen. She has a big business here. You know, what I mean, her in-person clientele is pretty big.
Yeah.
Um, there really is no telling. Like, maybe if we both get to a position where we're only online, then we could move somewhere else. But we don't like the cold at all. Like, we fucking hate it.
I'm not even kidding when I said like I was thinking to myself the other day because like, and again, like I don't get me wrong, nothing against Arizona. I do love it here, but I just am at a point where like I've been here and I've done it, and I think
Just
I'm
want
ready for a
more.
change.
Yeah.
And so like as I was sitting in my head thinking, I'm like, okay, yeah, there's Texas. Could go back to Vegas. I knew I liked it out there. Spent a good amount of time in Miami in 2020 as well.
The taxes in Florida are
Yeah.
legit too. That's
Well,
the
that's
draw.
literally I'm thinking of all like tax-free states,
Yeah.
ironically. It was funny
Tennessee.
because the thought crossed my mind. I was like, what if maybe I'll just go out to St. Louis for a week, chill with Justin, chill with you, see if I like it, and then just surprise, like, hey guys, I'm gonna pick up and move here.
Yeah.
But I
The
mean,
good
again,
thing I like here
it would be
is
dope,
like,
but I just don't
yeah,
know if I could really endure the winter.
true. I mean, and you're from the cold, but like, I think what I like the most, St. Louis. So like, I live majority of where I always lived was in Louisiana. You know what I mean? Like I lived in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, even close to like Metairie, New Orleans. But like that culture, it's a different, you know, like there's a culture in a city or where you live. And St. Louis has that a lot. Like it's just a different, not that Florida doesn't have it or like, you know what I mean, this and that, but I don't know, it's just cool. Like if you're kind of about like it's a real old school place, like, but you still have everything here. It's just it gets cold, you know, for part of the year. But it's not like it's Minnesota, you know what I mean, where it's like 6, 8 months of cold. It's like, what about like 4, you know?
Yeah, I just when I say I'm so spoiled with like that's the one thing. And like this, I don't want to say like the heat this summer like broke me, but I'll be honest, like, dude, it's been one of the worst summers I can like remember in recent history. And everyone's like, oh, this isn't even bad. I'm like, bro, it's like 115, 120 every day. Like
Yeah.
it's just fucking brutal. So
That's how this year was up here, dude. It was like now our heat's different. Like I lived in Arizona too, in the summertime. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
it's
like
bad.
I've got 120 degrees, you know, before, and then but up here it's like, yeah, it's like 100, 105, but it's like 100% humidity too. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like it's unbearable.
Yeah. Connor, welcome back. We're still just talking about moving. um, Connor, let me ask you. So I know you talked about MI40 a bit, and I know obviously that was a gym I had seen for like years on social media with just a lot of pros training out there. But
Hmm.
now like you guys have a lot of other ones that some of my buddies have mentioned. I think one of the other ones is called Counterculture, and then
Yes.
obviously I know a lot of people are now starting to go train at Derek's gym. Um, have you been to either of those yet?
Oh yeah. Frequent both of them. So my new apartment that we just moved into is 100 yards from Derek's gym. So that's actually
I've
my new.
heard nothing but incredible things about Derek's gym.
It's the best money can buy, or
How,
the best money can gift.
yeah, well, how, what's the membership there a month?
The founding rate was 130 per
That's not
month
bad.
with a 12-month commitment, and then I think the general rate is either 150 or 180 a month.
Not terrible.
Counterculture is the most cost effective. It's $60 a month, but they limit their membership because it's a
Mhm.
smaller gym. They don't just want a bunch of people in there. So right now they're only accepting members on a referral basis. Um, those are the two I would say right now that I would recommend the most to go to. And then MI40 obviously is always going to be a staple. Optimum Gym is great for legs, and if you're a female, it's great for bikini, everything. And then Gold's Gym sounds like the Hive, basically,
Yeah.
just less pretty, I would say.
Just less aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my buddy who I mentioned that's moving out there, he signed up. He got a membership over at Derek's gym, and he said the aesthetic is incredible, the variety and equipment. He said they have almost like multiple versions of every machine, and also too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was capping memberships, so it was going to be somewhat limited. You know, so it's not completely overcrowded with the amount of people that are training there. I don't know if he
Sorry,
knows.
I got
Oh
I
no,
got
you're
the
good.
I got the Ninja Creamy going on in the background. Uh,
Loud as fuck.
it's a freaking rocket ship. But yeah. So I believe he said he's capping it, which I honestly prefer because I don't want everyone and their mother going there.
Right.
It's 99% new tech equipment, which so far has been amazing. He does have duplicates of a good few amount of things. So there's 2 pec decks, 2 unilateral rows, 2 hack squats. There's a lot of duplicates, but it's the same thing, just
Yeah.
twice. So there's options. And then he has like 4 Atlantis pieces and a pit shark as like the off-brand stuff.
Yep.
But spacing's great, lighting's great, music's been great so far ever since I've been going, so that's always nice. Um, and then the environment, the atmosphere, it's what you want it to be. I'd say the only qualm you can have with it is if you're not the type of bodybuilder who likes new and pretty and clean and a little bit of bougie, then it's probably not your bread and butter.
Sure.
Because like my one buddy's like, no, I like a good Metroflex a lot better. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't get that often or frequently or ever really. So like if you want that grungier feel, Counterculture is the place for you to go. Girls.
Yeah. It honestly, like, just from everything I've heard, and again, like the new tech stuff, Chris, I don't know if you've trained on it, but I was training on it a good amount when I was in Vegas at Torture Gym, and
Yes.
it just, I'm trying to think of the right way to describe it. It's like the machines just move in a way that it feels different in a good way. And it's like some of the smoothest equipment I've ever trained on. I mean, Atlantis is great, Prime is great. Some Arsenal pieces I like, but even
Dude,
still,
honestly,
it,
Arsenal's kind of overrated, honestly.
I don't like it.
a lot of people don't like it. There's some pieces I like, and then other pieces like just the range of motion isn't that good. I know
Doesn't
even
fit. Yeah.
yeah, I know even at Dragon's Lair, like they're starting to swap out some of the Arsenal pieces for a little bit more variety. And I mean, obviously that's Flex's equipment, but nonetheless, just the new tech stuff, I can't say enough good about it. And
Mhm.
that alone in itself, like I know New Tech, Connor, I'm sure you've seen it. New Tech is opening like their complete own facility. I think it's in Henderson, which is a little bit like 20, 30 minutes outside of like Las Vegas. But
Mhm.
dude, that gym looks phenomenal too.
Mhm.
I will say the new tech, it it's just smooth.
It
It's
moves
just really
like nothing
smooth.
else.
The only thing that I have an issue with is that the incline press and then eventually the lat pull down, I won't be able to use in my off season because you can't stick
Yeah.
enough plate. You can't stick enough plates on it. It's light equipment. And let me be clear, I am not the strongest bodybuilder.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Never in my life did I ever think or say to anybody, "Oh yeah, I'm stronger than you." No, not who I am, not how I live. But you can't argue when it's a light machine.
That's
And
fair.
my first working set is 5 plates, and it only fits 5 plates.
That's
So
fair.
where
Yeah,
do you
that's
go from there?
no, that's a fair complaint. What side note, what kind of cream are you making right now?
Uh, so I don't know what flavor protein it is because I had 4 of them just bulk in my freezer. Um, I'm hoping it's the chocolate peanut butter protein from Core, and then 40 grams of nut butter, 100 grams of blueberries.
Nice, nice.
It it's dessert. It's not actually a real healthy meal.
Honestly, everyone loves the Ninja Creamy and says it's like such a diet hack. And then I've heard like horror stories about like Ninja Creamies like setting themselves on fire type shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting to see some of
They're
those videos on
terrifying,
TikTok.
man. Katie uses hers. I like it in prep. I don't, in off season. Um, it's just it's really voluminous. I think you know what I mean. Like you do get a lot out of your creamy. Um, but if you got to eat a lot, maybe I'm just a bitch. I don't know. But like it would almost be easier. Like that's like right now. Like I eat my cream of rice loaf of like 100 whatever carbs, and then just pound a shake because it's not as much in your belly. But in a prep, it's like game changer.
I'll get
There's
there. I'll get there eventually. Don't
Creamies and
there's
GLPs,
certain
bro.
yeah.
worry.
There's certain things that I'll like designate for like, okay, this is something I enjoy on prep, and this is something I
Yeah.
won't even touch in the off season. And ironically, one of those things for me is like cold brew coffee. When I'm in prep, dude, nothing hits like a Starbucks cold brew. But any other time of the year, I'm not going to waste my money on cold brew. I'll just make one at home if I really want it. But like when I'm in prep, that's like a treat, you know?
When I was
Yeah,
in
the little things.
when we were
Yeah, it
in
is the little things. Yeah.
was it New Jersey, so I was like in my reverse, like doing my own thing, essentially running like no carb, and it's Katie's show day. I'm talking to Connor. I think I had like 3 or 4 cold brews that day. I like passed me. He's like, "You got another one?" I'm like, "I don't want to talk about it. Like, leave me alone." But dude, it gets you laser, dude.
It is something about
Oh,
like
Chris.
obviously for me, coffee acts as like somewhat of an appetite suppressant. So
Hmm.
obviously not just the caffeine aspect of it, but let's say I'm in prep, calories are low. So I wake up, I go to Starbucks, have a cold brew first thing in the morning. So now if that pushes my first meal back, maybe an hour, hour and a half, that takes my window of eating a little bit later in the day and allows me to space my food out a little bit more adequately where I don't feel as hungry. Um, and again, just something about like, dude, Starbucks cold brew slaps. There's no other way
It
to say
does.
it. That's
Yeah, that's what I was using it for. I was running like trace carbs to get all my little crazy shit going, whatever. But if I'm running trace carbs, I'm like at this show and I'm like starving. And I'm like already focused on eating. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to focus on eating at all. So I'm just like pounding cold brews like all day. I go see her, I'm like, hey, you want a cold brew? She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's your fourth cold brew, bro.
Yeah, there's little things like that. I mean, even still, like, don't get me wrong, I love blueberries, but like specifically frozen blueberries as like a
Oh
little
yeah.
snack when I'm in prep. Oh my God, dude.
They're
Like,
sweeter, I think, than the fresh ones.
so someone was telling me there's I never looked it up and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, but someone was saying there's like more nutritional value in frozen blueberries than fresh blueberries. I was like, I just think they taste better.
Yeah. I don't know.
I saw that bullshit on TikTok literally 3 days ago,
Yeah, I like
and I
certain
I
things I
read
won't even
I
look
read
up.
I read through some of it, and I'm like, this is the most idiotic like logic loop I've ever fucking read, just for clickbait and for some fat fuck to be like, oh, I can go eat 7,000 frozen blueberries and be healthy.
Blueberries are blueberries, you know what I mean? That's why like sometimes I'll hear certain things. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. I mean, I just like what I like, you know?
Yeah, it's such a simple answer like that. It's oftentimes not as complicated as people want it to be. It's just like, no, it's healthy, it tastes good, and it works.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
stop trying to overthink it and overanalyze.
Connor, so I'm imagining you're in your off season right now, or you're kind of just obviously in maybe a health phase because you just did two shows back to back, yeah?
Yeah, buddy.
How was
I'm
it was
currently
Texas Pro and Tampa Pro?
yeah, so
Other way
currently
around.
exactly 3 weeks post show.
Nice.
We were
Yeah,
four
you still
pounds
look
up.
jacked, bro.
4 pounds up from stage weight this past Friday. But calories are substantially higher. Drugs stayed in. We decided to go with a pretty substantial push post show. Um, my protocols for my prep were very, very, very minimal. My labs stay good pretty much always, so I'm very lucky, like with that genetically. And then the fact of the matter is, I have a shit ton of muscle I need to put on to be competitive. So we figured take the post show phase, push things a little bit aggressively to gain as much size as possible while we can capitalize on it. And then I'm getting labs done in 2 weeks just to make sure things are all checking out.
Yep.
If things look good, we'll continue to push for another 4. If things look a little bit hairy, we'll pull back and go into a health phase sooner. But the goal right now, I would like to, and I'm determined to get back to Texas next year and take a top 5. And then the goal is to come back here to Florida and either do the Florida Pro, and then if necessary, do the Hurricane and see if I can win one of those smaller pro shows.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I saw your stage photos when I was looking at your Instagram earlier, and I was like, dude, you look phenomenal in my opinion. I mean,
Thank
obviously,
you.
again, at the pro level, I understand there's levels to it. What was your what was your weight cap, or what is your weight cap?
Weight cap's 242. I
240.
got
Yeah,
I got
so
down to 231 in prep.
anytime, anytime like I've come into a show and I have just room to grow still into my weight cap, I'm like, okay, I'm like, yeah, I look conditioned, I look great, but like I know this isn't it. I know there's still another level I can get to. And so that was me after North Americans last year, where like Bill said to me, he was like, dude, conditioning phenomenal. He goes, but why are you so small? So when I said earlier, I've gotten that exact statement from him, and we laughed about it when he saw my cut was like 50 pounds, and it just is what it is sometimes. Nothing was coming off, and then everything came off. And yeah, I'll always take pride in how good my conditioning can be, but it's not just, you
Not
know,
just a conditioning game.
it's exactly it's having that size, that shape, that symmetry, and the conditioning. And so it's like
Yeah.
when really I was like, okay, I still had 12 pounds to fill out for my weight cap. That literally has been the only focus this year, is adding size, you know?
Yeah. For me though, let me give a little context as well. I only did a 9 week prep. 9 week prep.
Yeah, that's
So
short.
like it was a nine
Why
week
is such
prep
a short prep?
because I'm irresponsible. Um
Life,
no,
clients, moving.
so like I mentioned earlier, like I did 4 years of being a bodybuilder, but it was 4 years of not being an elevated bodybuilder how I needed to be.
Mhm.
And this past December, I started working with Johnny again. Initially, it was like, hey, let's fix my gut because I know my gut's all fucked up. And then let's just get me back into bodybuilding a little bit. So went through the gut protocol, was pretty much free and clear from January 1st. And then February, we started to push to grow. Well, my wife and where I met Chris, she competed at Universe this past July. And her prep ended up just taking a heavy, heavy toll. So in April, I texted Johnny. I was like, hey, dude, like, it's just not panning out where I'm going to be able to do what's necessary for my off season and get her to show day. So I'm like, I need to prioritize her. I'm going to put my shit in the back burner.
It's totally fair.
So June rolls around. Some competition stuff happens with her where she's either not competing, maybe competing, not competing. And at the moment, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I feel good. I'm in a decent body composition right now. I'm okay with how big I am. Like, I know I'm not going to be the biggest guy on stage, but let's just get my pro debut done. Let's just have fun with it. I'm going to do it for the fun of it. I'm going to get my head right because that was the biggest factor. And then just do it to love bodybuilding again because I hadn't competed in 4 years. So that's what we did.
Long time
and
away.
Yeah, so I'm not a single regret for the entire thing. The Tampa show, I could have lived without, but I'd say it was a perfectly fine stepping stone to shake off the cobwebs and just get up there, do my pro debut. And then Texas was everything I wanted and more. It was perfect. I had so much fun. I felt good. The peak was great. Felt good about how I looked, and I just knew I was small. So here we are now, trying to come back on the way up, and then see if we can do it again next year, but with a much better placing because 14th sounds fucking terrible.
Well, it's funny when like you get to the end of a prep and like you can like how you look, but also know again that like there's another level to it. So that was again referencing my North Americans last year. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a good shredded look. But like I look at those photos now, and obviously with North Americans being last week, when I see how small I really truly was versus where I'm at now, it's like I will never step on stage looking like that again. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so at the time, it was just like, oh wow, this is the best I've ever looked. But then you fast forward a year later and you're like, the fuck was that? So again, if you're in the mindset of like, okay, there's levels to it, I can keep progressing, then it's funny how like we look back at a photo where we thought we were doing something and then we're like, dude, I'm dwarfing this now, you know?
Yep. I think the one thing too that was interesting is getting off stage post show and people being surprised that I placed 14th. And I'm like, I appreciate the flattery, but for the love of God, please bring a conversation to me that shows you understand what you're looking at with the
Yeah.
sport. Because I don't know if it's just because of the people who I'm surrounded by or if it's just the supporters who were kind enough to reach out to me. But wow, the gap in education or the gap in understanding how this sport even fucking works.
Yeah.
Connor, how'd you place 14th? You should have been top 3. Like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like,
Yeah.
I can tell you, I told everybody, I'm like, no, I'm walking off stage and I place top 10. Like, no, you're definitely, no, I know where I was on stage. I was there. I was the one up there. I was the one who did the prep. And
I
I
think
can
it's a lot
honestly,
too. Oh, sorry.
you're good.
Most bodybuilders need to, or just like, I think, yeah, most bodybuilders need to realize that a lot. You know what I mean? Like, have it in your mind. Like, if winning a pro show, winning your pro card, winning an overall for some of these guys, most of them just winning overall at a small regional show, like, the levels to things that are just overlooked, you know what I mean? Like, unless you've been next to like some very big guys or guys that like are pro card worthy, you know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of, I'm all for being confident and like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go win this show, or like I'm gonna go pro. Like, dude, you have to like humble yourself to a minute. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm pretty good, but there's always someone badder, or like there's gonna be giants. You know what I mean? It's like, but that's the sport, you know, until you kind of are there, you just can't explain it.
Well,
Bodybuilding is the only sport that the mirror doesn't matter to the individual themselves.
right.
I think I said this to you, Chris, when we were in Jersey. If you're 5'6" in high school, you know for a fact you are not making it to the NBA.
Yeah.
So bodybuilding doesn't have that checks and balances. It has, oh, you can lift a little bit. Cool. You could be a pro bodybuilder. But the delusion is fed. The delusion is not stopped by anybody or anything because there's no definitive factor in bodybuilding saying, hey, this ain't for you.
I'm about to start telling people it ain't for fucking them, dude. I saw some stuff like 2 weeks ago. I think you and I talked about it on Instagram, and I was like, the fucking delusion of like just people. Like I'm trying. Someone has to be the guy to like shut some stuff down and just be like, hey, Bubba, like, this ain't gonna do it. Like,
I've only worked with one, and I'll say athlete loosely. I've worked with one athlete who he told me he wanted to compete. He always talks about competing, but do I think he's for real? No. And then when I worked with him for 20 weeks and I saw how lackluster his effort was, the fact he would lie through his check-ins, I was like, I said to him, I was like, I don't mean to be harsh. I was like, but like, you're going to finish dead last. And that's not because I haven't given you all the tools and resources to be good at this. It's because you're clearly not following a plan. You can tell me in your check-in your diet was 10 out of 10, 100%. You didn't miss a meal this week. But then I'd look on your Instagram stories and you're at like the Suns game or the Diamondbacks game and you're eating pizza, drinking beer. Like that's not part of your protocol when you're prepping for a show. So like, I don't know, kind of like Connor was saying, there's a lot of uneducated people who like, they're going to, maybe it's just they want to be nice and be like, dude, you look phenomenal. Or maybe they really do think that, but like their opinion means nothing because they don't know shit.
right. Yeah.
And I'm not saying this is like a vague sport.
Yeah. And like, I hate to like be this person, like I know everything about bodybuilding. I fucking don't. Like, we all don't know anything. But like, it gets to a point where like someone has to kind of like not put their foot down, but like every fucking
that line in the sand.
Yeah, like, dude, Justin and I were training last week, and this kid's doing just nonsense. Liz was about to beat the shit out of him because Liz is like a week out.
Science-based shit.
Dude, I mean, not even that. It's just like, what's going on? And then like hit a side chest with clothes on. That's the dude. When people start posing with fucking clothes on, you're like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
I just okay. Again, it's not my place to tell anyone what they can or can't do. That's not
definitely
what I'm about to say. But like when I see someone who should be spending their time in the gym focusing on their reps, their time under tension, following a specific training program for more than a week, and yet they're in the gym like flexing in the mirror on the floor, like in between every single exercise. I'm like, buddy, I'm like, what are we
going on here?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's
the same individuals.
with that by all means, but like it's the irony of I was talking to someone, today's a holiday, and one of my buddies is like, oh yeah, I'm going out to a pool party. He's like, bro, I'm surprised I never see you at like pool parties. I go, to be honest, if you saw me at a pool party, I'd probably be wearing a hoodie. And he's like, what do you mean? You have one of the best physiques. I was like, bro, it's like almost uncomfortable going out in public when like, again, you're a bodybuilder, not because of the looks or attention you get, but like, that's not why I do it. And so it's almost just like, I'm trying to think of the right way to describe this. I'm like, you're maybe going to the gym to thirst trap and get girls. That's cool by all means. I was like, but that's not even a focus of mine when I'm in the gym training is, oh, these girls are going to love my biceps at the next pool party I go to. Like, that's retarded.
I was just going to say, it's going to be the guy.
It's going to be exactly. And yeah, it's going to be a guy be like, bro, what's your split?
Yep. That's how, so her and I used to go to a bunch of raves and stuff and pool bars and clubs. And that was always a thing. It's like, oh, you look great. Yeah. But I don't want you to talk to me.
No.
I don't want to go to these things because then you have every guy in the bar or the club or the pool, bro, what cycle you on? Bro, you look great. How do I get like you, bro? How much protein you eat, bro?
Well, like
and
telling
then,
you like their detailed, like, man, I eat this, and this. Like, what else should I do? It's like, okay, well, here's my inquiry. Like, hire me, dude.
It's like I saw a buddy of mine in Vegas. He posted a reel about this last week, and he's a coach. He's competed for a handful of years. He's got a relatively good physique. And this guy comes up into the gym and kind of standard comment like, hey, bro, I'm trying to get like you. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Guy comes back over maybe 30 minutes later. He's like, no, bro, like, what do I got to do to get like you? And he goes, you don't want to get like me. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I can just tell. He's like, you're walking around the gym talking to everybody. You're flirting with girls. You're on your phone. So right there in 30 minutes of watching you, you're just saying you want to be like me, but you ain't going to do what it takes to get from here to here. And that's just real.
I like that. I like that.
It like he goes, I felt like a dick, but it was like, bro, you can say, oh, I'm trying to get like you. And a lot of people say that. But if you were serious, then you would already be doing the things on your own to be serious, you know?
The best question the question we often get is how long or how much weight or what does it take or whatever the fuck? And I just say 10 years. I don't say anything else. I just say 10 years. Like, oh yeah, but 10 years of what? 10 years of doing this every day.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I forget who it was that said this. It was on I listen to a lot of bodybuilding podcasts, but they're like, you don't even potentially know that you're going to be good in this sport until maybe you've put 10 solid years into it. And sometimes that's just what it takes. Everyone's genetics are different. I mean, I've
I
seen
think did Ian Valier say that?
it might have been Ian or someone on Bro Chat, but it's like, I mean, again, I've got friends who are 2-show pros. Carlos, right? Carlos
Yeah.
is built like a freak and obviously follows a plan to a T. But like he's 1 in a million in the sense of like not everyone can be a 2-show pro after taking what do you take 4 or 5 years off. Like that's so rare. And I think sometimes again going back to the miseducation, uneducation, or delusion. Like I mean, here I am going on 8 years now, 8 seasons of doing this nonstop every day, logging food, hitting my steps, getting 8 hours of sleep, taking care of my rest and recovery, posing 5 times a week. And again, haven't even scratched the surface. So it's like, again, like I think people don't realize how hard it is. They just see everything on social media and they have this delusion of like, I could do that. I could easy. I'm gonna get like that.
People don't realize what effort actually is and then what effort's actually required to see changes. I have a girl who signed up a month ago. She she took the call with my wife. So there's typically a little bit of a gap there, but she was like, "Yep, I want to lose weight, and then long term, I want to compete in bodybuilding." Her 4 week average adherence is a 6.2 out of 10,
Free
and
shit.
she was sick for the past 10 days. In her most recent check in, hey, I'm not seeing results. I'm doing the stuff. Why am I not seeing results? Because you have given me 60% effort over the past 3 weeks, so you can expect 60% of the results.
Effort never lies.
I will bet you guys each $100 that I have to send her to collections this month.
Probably. It's funny how they all get sick too. You know what I mean? They're like, when you get a bad check-in from a client, they're like, "Oh,
where did the knife come from?"
I was."
He's like,
Oh
"Listen,
my-
bitch, if you don't pay me my money,
Stop getting fucking sick, okay?" But no, like every check-in, like you'll know your clients that do it, but like it's not a good one, or like progress is still stalled. They're like, "Oh yeah, well I've been sick." Like how often? Like we're all humans. Like I don't get sick like that. Like you're telling me you get sick every other fucking month, dude.
It's weird. Every Friday when you have a check-in, you're sick. It's crazy.
I've had a few over the years where like once a month on like clockwork, they would end up with some type of sinus or stomach or some type of infection. And like it wouldn't be on their check-in day that I would hear about it. It would be on like a random day of the week. Hey coach, I'm sick again. So like, I knew it was legit because it was just out of the blue every time. So there's some people with immune systems like that where
Definitely.
they're just terrible. But the ones who every check-in who are like, "Oh yeah, I had a thing this week. Oh yeah, I had a thing this week," and then it's like, "No, this is bullshit."
I had a talk with a guy the other day, like, because my niche, like, you guys know what it is, whatever. Anyways, he's like, yeah, he's like, "Man, I've been sick, whatever. I'm not following my meals at work, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, dude, are you sick or are you like, just don't feel good? Like, straight up. Because you can not feel good and it's fine, like, whatever. But if you're like actually sick, there's such a big difference. I think everyone now is just quick to just be like, "Yeah, I'm sick. Oh, it's all fucked off. I'm sick." It's like, dude, like, do you have a fever? You probably don't even have a fucking fever. You might just not have slept that good, brother. Like, let's be real here.
Well,
Got
that's where
stuffy nose and a headache.
Yeah,
Well,
great.
that's why I referenced the quote, effort never lies. So, like, it's monsoon season out here. So that just means randomly out of nowhere, we get a huge dust storm and it rains for like an hour. Okay, whatever. So I was behind on my steps the other day. Even in my off season, I'm trying to just hit 10,000 a day just to remain some semblance of health, right? Cardiovascular health. And so I see it's about to storm. I'm like, all right, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I'm not going to hit my steps. So I went down to my gym and got on the treadmill. Like it wasn't that deep. It's just like people won't pivot. They'll be like, oh, well, it was raining outside, so I couldn't get my steps in. So I just didn't do my cardio today.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then there's your effort, like, or lack thereof. But I don't know.
I'm reading the book right now called Unfuck Yourself. And
I've heard of that. Yeah.
The first like 10 pages of chapter 2 is entirely about that factor of willpower. And it's like And essentially, it goes into in depth about the fact that you think you can or you think you can, you're right both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always going to come down to your own willpower. And the one thing that I liked from it was that everyone wants to defend their circumstances as to why they are the way they are. But in that same breath that you're defending your current situation, you're also defending that you do not have the willpower to change your current situation. And that in itself is what most people fall victim to, is that they want to blame their situation and describe all of the blame around the situation, but in fact all they're doing is justifying that they don't have the willpower to change their current position.
Right.
And that's the majority of people.
Yeah, I forget where I heard this too, but it's like you are your choices. So if you choose to do the
Mhm.
work or you choose not to do the work, that's who you are at the end of the day. And so like when I see, again, whether it's an athlete, whether it's a lifestyle client, it doesn't really matter. But it's like when people are sending you lackluster check-ins every single week and they're questioning the protocol, they're like, why isn't this working? It's like, no, you're not working. Like let's make this very
Am I
clear.
the
The plan
problem?
works if you follow it.
Definitely.
You walked 2,000 steps between Friday and the next Friday.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Weird.
good. Yeah.
On
Crazy
the
how that math doesn't math.
on the app I use that tracks my steps, I think whenever I hit 10,000 a day, it like gives you this little confetti burst and says, congratulations, you're more active than 91.8% of Americans today. I'm like, 92% of Americans are that fucking lazy. That's crazy.
It's legit, dude.
What?
You go to Walmart, Katie said something the other day, we're at Sam's actually, but like if you just go to Sam's or Walmart or wherever you go shop, you know what I mean? Look at their carts and look at the person. Like, it's true. I mean, straight up, we're buying chicken, I don't know, chicken peppers. She has the list, but like, you know what I mean? And then you got some other person, they're just buying shit and like some kind of dip and chips. And like, you're like, all right, well, you look like that. Your cart
You look
resembles
like
it.
Chip and Dip.
They do. They look like shit, dude. And it's like, and then they look at you like you're weird. It's like, no, man, we're not weird. We just, you gotta just have some self respect, at the end
That
of
was
the day.
that was the post I saw the other day. That was great. It was like, you normalize going out binge drinking every
Yeah.
Friday. I normalize cooking my chicken on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Why is one acceptable over the other, but one you get questions out the ass about why are you being healthy? Why are you making those choices for yourself? Okay, why did you binge drink from Friday to Sunday?
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Chris and I were talking about that too. And I was saying how like a lot of, and again, there's nothing wrong with going out to eat, going out to drink. Hey, if that's your thing, but like if that's all you live for, it's like, dude, that's pretty meaningless. When like again, people will judge the three of us and be like, well, you live to go to the gym. I'm like, yeah, I live to be healthy. Like, sorry for taking care of myself. Sorry for not wanting like to put poisonous shit in my body that I know isn't going to take me to where I want to be health wise, physically. Like, and I don't know. I just think health is wealth because obviously, like back in 2018, what started my whole bodybuilding journey was getting hospitalized from a severe case of food poisoning. So it was at that point when like I was completely wrecked physically, mentally, financially, emotionally. I'm like, dude, I can't even get out of bed to go to work. Like, how the fuck am I going to be healthy? Like, so I really realized health was wealth at that point. And now that's kind of like what fuels my fire every single day is like, dude, I wake up in the morning and if I feel good, I'm like, fuck yeah, today's gonna be a good day, And like, not every day do I wake up feeling great, but I also don't be like, oh, I don't feel so good. I'll just lay on the couch for the rest of the day. Like, that's not it.
Agreed. I will say bodybuilding being the unhealthiest healthy sport you can dive into.
Definitely.
But but no,
Facts.
it's the caveat though, because if you have both ends of the extreme. You have bodybuilders, you have your binge drinkers, but then you have everything in the middle. And personally, I would like the majority of society to operate on this half of the middle. Like give me 10% into the bodybuilding world where you're 90% close to being normal.
Yeah.
I would promote that for everybody.
Yeah,
For fucking
100%.
everybody. It's like cool. That 10% can look like 3 square meals, enough protein, and whole foods. And then the other 90% of your weekend, sure, go out to eat 3 times a week. Sure, you can have a few drinks, but you're giving the rest of your life that a little bit of attention where there's activity involved. Fuck. I wish everyone would just operate like that. The world would be a better place. People would be happier, kinder, healthier. but then there would probably be too many people at that point in time. But
then we'll have a plague.
oh, let's not get into that because I don't think there's things I can't say on a recorded fucking video.
Yeah, I fucked up last time we had a recording.
Well, what I will say is though, like, and part of going back to why I want to move is because I recognize this competitive bodybuilder chapter doesn't last forever. So I really want to enjoy it while it's present, but also looking past that, I'll still follow a clean, healthy diet once I'm done being a competitive bodybuilder. I'll still be conscious when I go out to eat that, like, oh, okay, maybe I don't need to smother this in cheese, oil, butter, whatever. Like, I like, and again, I think especially when you're in prep, your palate becomes so refined that, like, when I tell people, I'm like, yeah, just like get a nice steak, some salt, some pepper, maybe a little olive oil. Like, that's it. That's all you really need. And they're like, that's so plain. I'm like, or it's just cooked properly. I don't know.
Or
Pros,
it's just actually good food you're not accustomed to.
yeah.
Because you're only accustomed to the hyper palatable, the hyper processed,
Right.
what your brain has tricked you into thinking is normal, tasty, and good. And it's like, no, you should live a part of your life where you understand that you can cook a piece of chicken breast to taste extremely good and maintain majority of its health aspects without it being deep fried.
Yeah.
Without it having to be dipped into a 200-calorie sauce.
Country fried steak.
Damn, it does sound good. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, I know I just ate, but I'm still hungry, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I am too.
What's funny though is, like, kind of what we were talking about with, like, a simple piece of steak or a simple piece of chicken breast cooked correctly. I was talking to someone the other day and they were asking me, like, oh, if you go out to like a steakhouse, what are you gonna get? I was like, I don't know, maybe like only a 6 or 8 ounce cut of meat. Like, I don't really need more than that because my body's only gonna digest so much protein in one sitting anyways. And they're like, you don't get like a 16 or 24 ounce? I go, no, why? For what? Like, it's almost like a waste of money at that point because, again, I'm just going to shit it out within an hour later. So it's like, I don't know.
I'd say a 16 ouncer is probably the biggest I would go, just because it's cooked, it's weighed pre-cooked,
Yeah.
and typically the 16 ounce has like potentially a bone and a big fat cap on it, so you get about like 10, maybe 9 ounces of actual beef out of it.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Once you get into those like those sizes of steaks and those price ranges, it's like, well,
Yeah.
I made a commitment to come to this steakhouse for a reason, so I know I'm spending a pretty penny on it.
Fair.
But past that, no, like good 10-ounce New York strip, buy that at the store, come home, cook it on the cast iron. It's better than 90% of steakhouses anyway. And you get to control how it's cooked, the temperature, how it tastes, what you season it with, all those things. And we can go back to the conversation of bodybuilders being chefs.
100%. Connor, let me ask you this. On the opposite side of the spectrum, when you do have a cheat meal or a refeed, what's your go-to?
Oh man, I'm such a whore for Five Guys.
5?
It's really, really bad.
You get the Cajun fries or regular fries?
Regular fries, but you have to ask for them well. You have to ask for them well done,
Well done.
and then when you get the bag, you immediately dump out the cup, throw the cup away, and throw out the napkins so none of it gets soggy and it all stays crispy. I have this down to a science. But if it's not Five Guys, we like sushi.
Sushi's always a good one.
I do like Cane's chicken tenders. Those are good, but I don't have that around here as much, so it's kind of sad. And then Domino's.
Dude, thank you.
College
Chris
kept
loves
me as a
Domino's.
Domino's guy. I am scared to touch it again post prep because my gut has been so good the past like 12 weeks that I don't want to fuck with it. And if I do eat Domino's, it's a whole pie, it's a whole fucking cheesy breadstick.
Oh, you got to.
It's terrible, terrible, terrible. So it's great food. Well, it tastes great.
So the last podcast we were on, Chris and Justin were giving me shit because I typically am so routine with the meals I eat. I stay on plan. If I'm going to have a refeed, I already know In-N-Out burger and fries, how it hits. I digest it just fine. I feel good. I look good the next day. So they were giving me shit. They're like, dude, switch it up. You got to get something different. So, okay. So I switched it up. I went to Cheesecake Factory. I still got a burger and fries, but I did get a piece of cheesecake. And I got to be honest, this is probably the first time I've ate a piece of cheesecake in maybe 10 years. I'm not like a big sweet kind of guy, but I ate it and I wasn't even satisfied. Not because I was like craving more, but I was just like, dude, that wasn't even that great. Like the calories, it was like 1,800 calories in one slice, which is crazy. But I
Which
literally,
slice did you get?
I went with the red velvet. But I felt like I was literally just eating a brick of cream cheese with some sugar on it. I was like, that was not that good.
I don't think like if we were gonna go for like I'm a refeed connoisseur. Okay, like I've figured this out every guess we've talked about food on this podcast. But like if
Yeah,
you're
of
gonna
course.
go like, because Justin gives me shit for this as well. Okay, because he's like, dude, you got to stop doing this crazy shit. Okay, but
He loves his Domino's.
I know, no, it's only a specific pizza. But like, okay, if we're gonna do a cheesecake, like if I was in that situation, like if you're gonna structure it out, right? So like get your cheeseburger from X place, i.e. Cheesecake Factory. And then if we're gonna go towards like getting a sweet treat afterwards, dude, a Cheesecake Factory just would not hit the mark on that. Like you gotta find like it's like a two-part adventure, you know what I mean? Like pick this up and then you have to find the same quality of
I
said.
do I do my cheat meals the same way.
Thank
It's
you.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a piecemeal.
So it's
Yeah.
funny you say that because my guy that works with Grego, who's coming down to Tampa, he'll get his In and Out and then he'll go to Crumble after to get like one of their chocolate chip cookies. And that's like in his plan. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, dude, he's like, no, no, no. He's like, get
Got a
what
piece
you're
of
gonna get and then get like a little sweet treat somewhere else. I was like, dude, I'm not driving all over town for an hour and a half just to pick up these foods so I can like then just go binge at home and feel like a fat fuck out.
Oh, you map it out, dude. This is all
yeah.
pre-planned. This has got strategy
The
behind it.
sweet treats on
You
the
know
way
where
home.
Okay,
See?
here's the funniest part is if I look out the window right now, I've got a Five Guys right there, an In and Out right there, Shake Shack and Cheesecake Factory. Like I'm surrounded by all this shitty food, but like again, it's not that I'm not like a foodie. It's just like it's so rare that I really do indulge in cheat meals maybe once every other week if I'm feeling it in the off season.
even in your off season, really.
Yeah, because right now my calories are so high. Like I eat like pretty much 50, 200 right now every day,
Mhm.
like clean food. So it's like I'm not really craving anything
You're
and my
just
body's
full.
responding well. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel better overall. But like, that's why I stay so consistent with In and Out because I'm like, okay, I'm like, I know I can eat that shitty food and my body's going to respond well. Like, whereas like if I introduced the Domino's, dude, I do not eat that much dairy. I would probably be on the toilet all
That would
morning.
probably wreck a lot of people. I have figured that out. Like
Mhm.
my gut biome is pretty like indestructible. You know what I mean? And I start talking to other like
How old are you
bodybuilders,
again?
24, which I guess makes sense.
Okay. I was the same way at 24, the exact same fucking way.
Like nothing fucks you
And
up.
and let me tell you right now, I have been quoted a dozen times saying, "Holy shit, I wish my gut still worked like I was 24." So you cherish that motherfucker and
That doesn't make me feel any better.
you protect it at all costs.
I got some colostrum on deck. Keep it together. But dude, I'll talk to other bodybuilders about refeeds, and they're like, "What did you get?" Like, Kenny and I got like Greek food this weekend. Like, just we always get something like random. You know what I mean? They're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, sorry."
I'm just such a creature of habit. Connor,
That's fair.
are you gonna be going to Olympia in October?
No, not this year.
Okay.
I wish I could. That's the one regret I'm gonna definitely have because Jordan Hutchinson and I are really close. I was there. We won our pro cards together at USA's.
Mhm.
I was there for his pro debut. I was
What
there
year
for
did
his
you win your pro card? What 2023?
21.
21. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I saw photos and I thought for some reason it was 2023. I was like, I was there in 2023. I was like, I wish I would have known you then, but
4 year hiatus.
okay.
Um, but I've been there for all of Jordan's firsts, and now it's his first Olympia, and it's the one I'm not going to be at. So I'm sad about that. But no, we were supposed to go last year. We had tickets and everything purchased, and motherfucking hurricane
Ooh.
rolled right through. So we ended up having to drive to Miami to get out of the way of the hurricane, and then miss the Olympia, which sucked. But it is what it is. The goal is to make it there next year with one of us on stage. I think that'd be pretty cool if we can make that happen.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I'm still undecided if I'm gonna go out there this year. I know last year I went. I was fortunate enough to go with Liz and Justin. She was obviously competing, and I know she's doing the Florida show, which is I want to say the 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
So if she qualifies again, then I'll likely be out there. If she doesn't make it, I don't know if I'm gonna go. But ironically, Chris was saying when you were running downstairs, he's coming out to Tampa, I think the 18th of this month.
Mhm.
And then ironically, my boy Ryan, he's gonna be out there the 18th through the 23rd. So I might have to make a trip this month.
Fly out. I think we got a lift at Champs on that. Is it that Saturday?
Yeah, that's
Or
Saturday.
that,
Yeah.
that Saturday or Friday? So
Yeah.
I know us six should be getting a lift there. Ben and his wife, Summer, my wife, and then these two. So come on down. We'll have a good time. We'll get some good
Yeah,
lifts in. We'll get some good food in.
You
that
stay
would
with
be
my
dope.
nana.
That would be
Hmm?
dope. But what's
I
that?
told Scott he could stay with my nana. That's what we're doing. Like, hey, I brought a friend.
Yeah, no, I well, like I was saying, I've got a place to stay out there, so I'm not even worried about that. It's just the timing might be a little close because my mom's flying out here. We got just some family shit going on. One of my cousins is getting married, so she's coming out here for like a bridal shower um a couple days after that. So I know I gotta kind of just make myself available for her. But if everything coordinates with the schedule, I would love to because that would actually
Yeah.
be, to be honest, probably my first time down in Tampa and maybe get my feet wet, see if that's gonna be the next destination.
Be dope.
Yeah. I mean, definitely be a good time to make it happen, and then we can point you in the right directions of things too. So that way, if you want to tour some shit or look around, that you're not just driving around like a chicken with your head cut off.
Yeah, exactly.
And then yeah, if we can get something big going on, I'll see if I can get my videographer to drop into the gym for that and get some content and whatnot for us. Because fuck it, why not? If there's a bunch of meatheads lifting, let's have some fun with it.
Well, that's actually too one of my other good friends moved out there. He was like the original guy who was helping with YouTube content. And he's just like a full-time, he's got his own marketing agency. So he's out there and he's like, dude, he's like, well, as soon as I texted him and said maybe, he was like, bro, you got to make it happen. So I don't
Ah,
know.
fuck yeah.
We'll see where the wind blows. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll look at some flights when we jump off this podcast. So I gotta do some other work on the computer. So I'll be here for the next couple hours and we'll see what happens. I'll let you guys know. Keep you posted.
Fuck yeah. I'm down for it. I'm always game.
Before we wrap up, while we're talking about Olympia a little bit, you got any predictions of who you think's going to take bodybuilding and classic this year?
Classic, the toss up. Big toss up. I do think they're just going to give it to Mike. Um, you can't take second and then make noticeable improvements, and also have been
Good.
the first person to ever actually push Bumstead in
Right.
his 5 year 6 year streak. So it's like kind of a default type of thing. I don't see Ramon coming in with the proper shape that's going to beat him. Orr's moved up. Terrence isn't going to be big enough, even though I love his shape and his structure.
He looks good too.
Um,
But just like you said, I think it goes Mike, Terrence, Ramon,
Yep.
Matt
think
Gregor in
Niall's gonna be
fourth.
up there, dude.
Who's
Hmm?
that?
Nile.
Oh, not yeah. Niall
Yeah,
It's a
could
dark
sneak in
horse,
there,
dude.
top five.
but I'd say fourth through 10th is going
Yeah,
to
I
be a
can see.
very competitive toss up
Yeah.
with a potential wild card thrown into third. If somebody's a little bit off, or if somebody comes in extremely improved that we didn't really expect, I could see third being a toss up there. For open,
I'll be honest.
ooh,
I think this is Nick's year. I think this of all years is his year. I think obviously battling for second is going to be Derek and Samson, whoever comes in better. But I don't know. Nick just looks so full, so freaky. There's still what, 7 more weeks to go. And like he just looks so good. I feel like he's so locked in, but anything can happen. I mean, that's why obviously the competitions take place.
It's such a
Samson,
horror.
Samson, Martin, Nick, Samson,
Damn.
Mark, Samson, Martin, Derek, Nick, Hottie.
Top five in that order.
Yeah, yeah, but I got a month to make changes, but
That's fair.
that's what I can see because
That's a big jump for Martin, though.
Samson's guest posing this past weekend. Everything looked different about his skin texture. Everything looked different about how his skin is thinning out around the muscle belly. That I noticed. So if he's able to continue to improve on that condition and that thin skin leading into the Olympia, I think it'll be the conditioning we've all been waiting for.
Right.
And I think that's completely undeniable.
Yeah, if he comes conditioned,
Martin, I just know what he's fucking capable of.
Yeah,
He turned me pro back in 2021.
so I was gonna say I was looking on your Instagram and I saw a photo of when, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you and Martin were both amateurs
Mhm.
training together at that time. And
How
obviously
far did you
both
scroll?
have
Yeah.
well, I like to do a little
Detective.
research, but no, it's funny because like obviously then seeing the progress he's made, the progress you've made as well, but it's like holy shit, like both you guys.
He Nobody loves bodybuilding more than that kid. But I've known him since 2018, and like he hasn't even done cardio for any of his preps that
That's
we've seen
crazy.
ever. So I know what he's capable of. I know where he's currently sitting. I know what progress he's made from last show. I know what happened with his peak last show as to why he spilled. And if he comes in 100%, I think he takes second. Nick, I can agree with you. He's made noticeable improvements. I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think they can go shape, freak, shape.
yeah, I
I
agree.
don't think that matter. I don't think that's how that's gonna trend. So they're gonna give Samson, because obviously Samson. And then if it's Martin, Derek Martin, or even Derek Martin Hadi and any of those, they're very shapely guys with tight waists and very pretty structures. Hadi just has a little bit more of that freakish factor versus Derek and Martin. So if they're going to stay consistent with their judging criteria, let's assume they're all 100%. They're going to award those three guys with the better shape, the tinier waist, and then I'd say Nick gets weighed into there where he's just a fucking freak. And
Yeah.
he's an improved freak, but he's a freak.
When I say it's just the best version of Nick I think we've ever seen, that's where obviously he's had injuries leading up to the years prior, where I just feel like if ever there were a year he could do it, I think this is his time. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm rooting for him, but you could be right as well. I mean, it's anybody's game at that high level. So let me ask
That's
you
the
this.
fun of it.
Yeah, no, of course. And that's why, again, it's like if there were on prize picks, don't get me started, but if there were a way to bet on it, I wouldn't even know who to place money on
No.
because it literally could go either way. Um, Let me ask you this: who or how do you think Urza is going to do in his first attempt at Open?
Is that this weekend?
Was it this
Yeah.
past weekend?
Or is
This
it
upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, it's this weekend.
This upcoming Sunday. I think he's God, I genuinely have no idea. Because if the numbers that they've been talking about on podcasts and social media are actually true, nobody has any idea. Because if he was actually 224 on the Olympia stage and then he's 260 right
Yeah.
now, 10 days out,
Yeah.
does anyone actually have any idea how this kid's going to look on
Dude, think
stage?
about that. Think about that jump though. Like that's a crazy jump. And I get why he made the move, talking about how much size he was having to pull off to make weight for his weight cap. But like even still, like, dude, that's a substantial jump in one season.
Yeah. And
Well,
he's
Martin,
young,
I
so
think
he's
he's 28.
24. Oh, I thought he was young.
Oh, I thought he was closer to my age. He might be.
Could be
I'm
right.
not sure.
I think Urs is in his late 20s.
Oh, never mind. Fuck me. Um,
Still young in bodybuilding.
yeah, I was just thinking with hers, especially with putting all this, not really putting the size on, but bouncing into the size, is even when he was really dieted down, he never had that like really, really hard maturity in his muscles. You know what I mean? Like he diets down, he looks super dieted down, 100%, and maybe it'll show through if he's not over dieted, but like that's going to be hard to like, even with Quentin will be there and whatever him and Samson are doing, because they both look way different this last week. Somehow Quentin
Mm-hmm.
has glutes, you know what I mean? And that doesn't really ever stick on him. So it's like you have guys with really dug in parts, really grainy looking stuff. And it's like, is Urs going to be grainy or is he just going to be big and kind of dieted,
I'd say he has a better likelihood of being grainier now with better
Yeah,
conditioning.
definitely.
If because I'm going to assume that, and I know this for a fact, Boss of Outlaw loves his diazide, and I'm going to assume that he was just a very stringy
Yeah.
and not filled out for any of the Olympias that we saw. But no, something Martin told me 2 years ago was that Ors has had to suffer in his off seasons for the past like 4 years because he can't eat, he can't
Mhm.
train, he can't do fucking anything fun because he just has to maintain not getting too big because his body wants to grow.
Imagine having that
So,
problem.
Yeah.
oh, I know, God,
It's like Kevin Levrone.
4 months and he bounces back after
Yeah.
taking
Not
3 months
doing
off of the
anything.
gym. Yeah, I know, God, imagine
I,
having genetics.
I think it was Urs himself who posted it when he announced he was moving to open, where he was like, listen, like, I don't know how I'm going to do in this first run at it. It might take a couple years, but I'm confident I'll get there. And so I think at least when I say full transparency on his own, where if that's truly his expectation, at least that's a very honest way to look at it, where it's like, hey, like I'm moving up. I'm now playing with the big boys and the freaks. And if it takes me a few years to really hold my own, cool. Well, that's the path I'm going to take. And
Yeah,
I just looked up, he's 27. So obviously, like, probably just about to come into his prime. And especially now switching categories, nothing but potential. So I'm excited to
by
see
the
that.
time by the time he's 30, he's top five.
And then I think I just saw something posted the other day that Ramon said, he's going to obviously try and win the classic title this year, but he's talking about now moving to open as well and confirmed it. So I
He
wouldn't be
needs to.
surprised if you do see a lot of the classic guys start to move up. Because
Please, they can because that makes room for me
well, I was going to say,
because
and
I'm small.
that's where I think classic has gotten really entertaining right now because obviously Chris is retired, remote Urs is gone now, so the 1 and 3 guy is gone right now from last season. So I mean, it's definitely going to mix some things up.
And then Mike will go to 212.
Mike would probably do really good in 212 unless he's got to go up against Keon, which Keon's a freak.
No one, yeah.
Keon's a freak.
I
Actually, yeah,
saw someone post about Mike in 212, but Mike's how tall is Mike? Is he like 5'6" or 5'7"?
Short, yeah.
Yeah, I was with him at the Winter Classic, and he's like my height, and it's like, dude, when you get to like 212, like really hypercritical competitiveness with that, it's like, was it Texas Pro? Yeah, it was Texas Pro, I think. They had the 212 guys, and like the whole lineup is like top 10 stacked. They're real short, but they don't have guts. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're not blown out, but it's like you have peeled, short, huge, full. Like it's this like now 212 is like almost my favorite category because they're so
yeah.
so hyper competitive, and he's almost crossed that line of being he's gonna be if he's 5'7", then that cap's already gonna be, it's like what can you do? If that makes sense.
I'm
I was
curious as
just
what
gonna
his cap is now that you say that.
Well, I was just gonna say with Keon, I just feel like the shape he has and how
Oh,
dense
yeah.
he is, like as long as he stays in 212, he's gonna be really hard to beat in that category. But I would imagine eventually he'll move up to the open as well. So I don't know. We'll see.
If he goes to open, he's gonna shake it up. I think Keon, like, I think it's pretty safe to say anybody could be like, look, he's one of the greatest bodybuilders, I think, to be in the league in history. You know what I mean? Like that shape, it's blown out flex. I think it's blown out like even like Priest, all these shorter, shapier guys, like Keon's the man.
I just think anyone who can earn a pro card natty, props to them.
Yeah, that's true too.
Seriously.
In general, props to them.
Keon's a
Or
freak,
what
dude.
category?
Well, I was going to say too, if you look at this conversation and we look at the next 2 to 3 years of bodybuilding, everything is going to be shifting from like the top five that we know.
Yeah.
Keon's not going to be 212 for another 3 years.
No.
Ramon's going to move up in the next two. Summerfeld's going to move up eventually. And I just looked it up. So Summerfeld apparently is 5'8".
Yeah, that's
Which,
all.
but that puts his cap. Oh no, these are amateur numbers. 1 second.
Say
Yeah.
5'8", that's
Okay.
like one.
197.
Oh.
So up to and including 5'8" is 197. If he's over 5'8", he gets 204. So he potentially has anywhere from, what is that, 15 to 10 pounds he can put on his frame. I
Yeah,
think that's competitive in 212.
I think it'd be competitive. I think it'd be a good look for sure, like just to see what that's like. But like, I don't know. I think with 212, it's such
So
a. I think
denser.
they're so like they're. I mean, it's you think of like just Sean Clarita off the rip. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's such a specific look. Keon aside, everyone else fits that dense ball look. You know, and it's just one of those things where Keon's the outlier. You know, so you just take him out of the equation, look at the rest of 212 in the league. It's like damn. You know, and they all look the same damn near at this point.
I
It's
don't know.
really
You got that European kid with the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nada something. He's got
He looks nuts.
insane genetics, shape, flow, and super tiny waist. And I'm sure he's got plenty of room to put on size in his cap. Keon's not even capped out. He's gonna have
Yeah,
5 pounds. He's gonna have 5 pounds at least this year he can still put on. So
I
it's
think
gonna
I
be
think
exciting. It's gonna be exciting the next
Well, I
three
think
years.
like Connor mentioned, it is going to be interesting over, say, the next 3 to 5 year window as guys are moving up. Obviously, there's always some younger, hungry athlete who's working his way up, coming up. And so it's kind of funny that, like, yeah, it's going to be a big shift in these next 3 to 5 years, not just based on age, but also based on who's qualifying, who's competing, and where they're competing in what category. So, yeah, I think this Olympia for me is probably going to be one of the most exciting ones, and hopefully, if everything works out, I'll be there because we're about, like I said, 6, 7 weeks out.
How far of a drive is that for you?
On a good day, like 6 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not a terrible drive. It's a boring drive, but it's
Yeah.
just more so. When I say being spoiled last year, getting to go with someone who was competing at the show, it was such a different experience than I would imagine just going as like a fan or an athlete. And so I think I don't know. It would almost be bittersweet to go this year if Liz didn't make. Again, we'll find
Mm.
out next week. So fingers
I'm
crossed.
confident with
You
her
said you
next week,
said
dude.
she's doing a Florida show.
Yeah, there's I want to say the 8th or the 9th. It's the Florida Pro. It's actually the show.
That's the Saturday. It's the 6th.
Okay, it's this Saturday. Yes. So,
I'm gonna be. I was just curious. I'm gonna be there.
yeah,
So I'll
she'll
see Justin too.
she'll be competing there. That's actually the show she won last year to qualify her. So
Oh, cool.
I would imagine she's got to be one of the favorites. She got second in Chicago, third in Tampa. So
Oh, definitely.
she's
She's
knocking on
getting
the
better and
door.
better. Yeah, like we were just with her last week, and dude, it's like from her last week versus even her 3 weeks ago from the last one, it's like night and day. You know what I mean? Like she just keeps getting better and better. Like fucking freak show. I think it'd be good
Fuck
for
yeah.
her.
All
Yeah,
right.
this Saturday's gonna be fun.
Ben's
Go.
competing with Saturday too, right? He's looked
Yeah, that's why.
crazy.
That's why it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
Who's
he's getting
competing on
better and better
Saturday?
too.
You
Say
have
again,
one.
Scott.
Who'd you say, Chris?
Ben Hodge,
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ben.
Huge,
Yep.
huge, been huge.
Dude,
huge.
he and again, Connor, I know you mentioned him earlier. Sounds like you're relatively close to him, and I know he trains out of MI40. But yeah, with what happened to him, I guess having to compete in bodybuilding at his last show, and then I would imagine like he's definitely coming for blood this weekend.
Um, so he's my best friend. Like that's my little brother.
Yeah, he's got a phenomenal physique.
He's not in the mindset of like coming for blood for this one. He's coming at this show just genuinely just wanting to enjoy it
Mhm.
and bring to the stage what he knows he can bring, keeping his head out of it, trying not to put too much pressure on himself. He's confident with how he looks. He just has to stay calm and get on stage and enjoy it. That's his biggest factor. And then he knows that if he can make all of that happen, he'll place well.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It was an issue where they hided him in different. I mean, again, that's such a weird thing in
Yeah.
general.
They at the Hurricane last year, he was 6'1", or he was 6 foot and a quarter. At the other show he did, he was 6 foot and a quarter. And then at Texas, they hided him in at 5'11" and a half.
So weird.
But this year they apparently standardized the height issue. And if you height you take the average of three heights of three shows, and then if that average is, or wherever that average places you, is then your permanent weight cap. So for
That's
me,
nice.
So for me, I was 6'1.5" in Tampa. I was 6'1.25" in Texas. And then whatever show I do next year, I'll be 6'1" and whatever the fuck they say. And they're like, cool. Your average height is 6'1 5/8" Your weight cap's 242 for the rest of forever. That's
Smart.
that's what we think is going on, but the rule is new this year, so we don't have like clear answers on anything. So they were trying to get in contact with Tim Gardner to try and talk about it, and then they're trying to see what's going to happen in this show, depending on where they hide him. So it's muddy. It's a really weird gray area that's very, very annoying.
Yeah.
But he knows he can get heighted in at 6'1/4", which is where he should be for his weight cap, and that will bring his best look.
Yeah, that's a weird thing with the height discrepancy because it's like, I mean, okay, I have heard with like being depleted, obviously water depletion, like maybe your feet are a little softer, so you shrink down 1/4 of an inch. But again, when
Well, it's the fluid in your spine.
when that affects what class you're in or making weight, like that's a huge deal.
It can be dangerous too if it's a mess up, and if like the weigh in isn't timed at a good time frame, like you could end up being like, cool, I tried to weigh in at 3 p.m. They heighted me in wrong. Now I have until 5 p.m. to lose 7 pounds.
Yeah, and I've seen that actually with the guy who actually won my class at North Americans last year. And I mean, when he told me what he had to do for, the 24 hours before, knowing that like, okay, God forbid I can't make this weight. I mean, he was literally starving himself just to make weight. I'm like, dude, that's not healthy. But like earlier, bodybuilding, the most healthy, unhealthy sport there is.
Yeah.
Every time.
Chicago, they hided me like a half inch short, something like that, like the very, very bottom of B. And so we're 7 pounds over. We had to weigh in the same night. Like we checked in at like 6 p.m. You know what I mean? So like, what do? You start diuretics, you get in a fucking tub. Like then you're getting like, okay, let's force everything out of your body. Fuck anything else. You know what I mean? Like you start passing out and shit. Like it's back to being a wrestler. And it's so unbelievably unhealthy. It's just, there's no point in it,
It's an extreme sport. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
I would say when you sign up for bodybuilding, you understand that there's potential you're going to take something to some extreme that could be dangerous, and
Definitely. A standardized approach would be, I think, just beneficial for everybody.
for sure,
You know,
for sure, for everybody, and it would keep everything interesting and exciting
Yeah.
as well, because then you're not dealing with your favorite athlete getting heighted in wrong, and now they come back to the show, they look like shit. They lost 7 pounds of water overnight, and now they can't fill out, and it's all this crap. It gives you consistency.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, props to Ben. Obviously, I know from the posts I saw, it looked like he still made the best out of a shitty situation.
He did.
And again, sometimes that's bodybuilding, but it also, if I were in that position, I would imagine I'd be like, damn, this sucks. Like, there's no other way to skin that.
Yeah, not going to say he was happy about it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure.
I gotta go grab a meal here, but Connor, I appreciate you hopping on. Was there anything else you guys
Thanks for having me.
talk about before we wrap up today? I think Justin, he texted me a little while ago. He got caught up with clients and running around today, so he said sorry he wasn't able to make it, but we'll definitely have to get you back on. But yeah, anything else you guys want to cover today before we wrap up?
No, yeah, this is a good one. I'm game for this anytime. Thank you for the invite. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it. And definitely when Justin gets back on here, let's talk some more shit on the optimal little.
I was gonna say, I was like,
broccoli headed fuckers.
Yeah, I saved it for last, the science-based lifting. I didn't want to dive into it because I know that's something Justin wanted to, but like that, I will say that one reel I sent you guys, as I was looking at this dude doing those weird crucifix lap pull downs, whatever the fuck he was calling it, I thought to myself, you wouldn't even be able to lock yourself into like you would have to have a gym partner help you get into that funky.
They do.
I was like, when I realized how retarded it was after I watched it a couple times, I was like, dude, this is even dumber than the first time I watched it.
It's so bad. You'll see kids like, I mean, it even come down to like wrist wraps on a fucking leg extension. You know what I mean? Like, dude, there's so many worse levels to this shit that like I don't get, like, you can do whatever you want until, like, being selfish, it hinders my training. Then I'm like, all right, like, what the fuck are we really doing? You know what I mean? And then now you have 6 kids training together because you have to have your training partner is now just the guy to strap you into some weird, like, it's like some weird kinky shit. You know what I mean? You're like, dude, we're at a fucking gym. Like,
It's 50 Shades of Gray on the cable machine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And everyone's 110
bro.
pounds, 120.
Well, look,
like,
on that note, you go get a meal, my man. I want to pick the optimal conversation up when Justin's here because this is going to be something we talk shit on for about 30 minutes. I gotta walk puppies and tend to a happy wife.
I appreciate you guys. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, brother. See ya.
All right, peace.